Am I right, Isha, that it has been a bigger year for women's sport? I mean, because you were playing in the World Cup when, 2008,
Yeah,
9?
I played in 2005, won it in 2009 over in Sydney, and we did get a fair bit of coverage over then, but then I guess it quickly dwindled away, and that's where I think cricket can really learn from that. It's been a successful campaign for the England women. Still recovering from yesterday, to be honest. It was a truly special moment for everyone involved, and you just got a sense that everyone was sort of pulling together. But I guess we were sort of speaking off air about the fact that I think the significant change was around the 2012 Olympics.
The 2012
yeah,
Olympics?
Yeah, absolutely. And just the focus on women in sport. I think the government made a big push to try and include women's sport in the media. And as a result, you know, we've had this knock-on effect of
and
people
it gets
getting
trajectory
involved.
and then people get interested and then they
It's
become
just been
more
a change of perception.
Does it feel to you, Joanne, like a bit of a moment that something's changing, tipping point?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, all sport's been working really, really hard. You know, women's sport's been working hard for many, many years, but there does seem to now suddenly be this point where there's this magic moment in time. We've just had the Cricket World Cup, we've got the Hockey World Cup in 2018, and then we've got our Netball World Cup in 2019. So I think there is this sort of 3-year span when we can absolutely maximise, both from a commercial point of view and from a broadcast point of view.
I want to try and understand what's going on here. Now, you see, netball is the team game that doesn't have the men's counterpart, unlike the cricket and the football. And does that make it easier to promote, or does that make it harder to promote?
I think it's a double-edged sword, really. We obviously don't have the millions of pounds worth of backing that the men's game can now give to the women's game. I mean, they didn't previously, but they are now investing. So everything that we create, we have to create on our own. But also, it is our USP. You know, it's women that play it. We predominantly administrate it. Our volunteers are nearly all women. So it does have this unique position within a woman's life, really. So it's two-edged.
So, Isha, what is it that drives some sports, particularly the non-team sports, in the Olympics, women, obviously, it's virtual parity. And then other sports, it's a long, long way between the men's game and the women's game. What is it that, if you like, accounts for how much parity or equality there is?
Yeah, I think obviously individual sports, for example, you look at Jess Ennis, she's constantly out in the media, and she's a sort of singular entity that's been kind of championed and has done so well for Great Britain. Whereas team sports, perhaps you only have 1 or 2 stars, and that's certainly been the case with cricket in the past. But I think now, you know, when the ICC decided to broadcast every single game of the Women's World Cup, we suddenly were able to see all of these girls on the biggest stage of all. And I think certainly throughout England's campaign, it wasn't down to 1 or 2 individuals. It was every single person contributing at different times. And I think on the back of that, the media and the broadcast cottoned onto it, and you know, everyone was talked about.
Joanne, you must know about it in the netball. There's this sort of chicken and egg, isn't there? The media don't come until there's the interest, and the interest doesn't come until there's a media, isn't that right?
Yeah, but I think we have to, you know, I think as women's sport, we can't sit there and go, oh, woe is me. You know, we have to create our stories. We have to create an interest. And I think that's what we've done really, really well. I mean, in netball in particular, we look at ways that women can play the game. We find the right form of the game for the right kind of women. So we've done a lot to turn ourselves into a sports business. And we've created that, and we've created the interest. And once we've done that, we can then take our product to our broadcasters and to sponsors. And I think, you know, we have to take responsibility for that. And we've done it really well as women's sport. And now it's really time to push on. You know, we need the broadcasters, we need that money coming in, that investment coming in.
I mean, Isha, it seems to me that I'm not clear about what the audience is. Is the audience for women's cricket men who are interested in cricket, women who are interested in cricket, or women who aren't interested in cricket but are interested in women's sport?
A bit of both. I mean, you just look at the final yesterday. It was played in front of a sellout crowd. 50% of the tickets were women coming down to watch. So a completely new audience for Lord's Cricket Ground. And I think across the world, globally, it isn't just women, it is men as well. I mean, you look at India and how much the male counterparts really got behind their team. And you think about 1.2 billion people that live in India. Everyone was glued to the screens throughout the whole of the Indian campaign. I think it appeals to everyone, but more importantly, it's the legacy that's been created and trying to appeal to young boys and girls. There's been no better time, though, for women and girls to get involved in cricket.
No, there hasn't. Well, Joanne, I mean, do you think that in team sports, netball being an exception, do you think there is a day when parity, anything like parity, will be achieved between, say, women's football or women's cricket and men's?
It's all of our dreams. I think across sport, I don't think people ever want to say it's the women's version or it's the men's version. It's just great sport, and it's people just wanting to watch great sport as a great entertainment spectacle, and for it to be administered all through the game.
Thank you both very much. Great stuff.
Thank you.